Whatever works.
We're not going to be able to show
Welcome
you
to
her.
Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, the Web3 services platform that has enabled trillions of dollars in transaction volume across DeFi, insurance, gaming, NFTs, and other major industries. As a leading decentralized Oracle network, Chainlink enables builders to develop feature-rich Web3 applications with seamless access to real-world data on and off-chain, computation across any blockchain, and provides global enterprises with a universal gateway to all blockchains. Today, Chainlink launched a new service called Chainlink Functions, a serverless Web3 platform that enables developers to connect their decentralized apps to any API in minutes, including AWS, Meta, and more. Sergey, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Great. Thanks for having me.
You got it. You've been on the cutting edge of creating smart contracts for over 10 years. How are you seeing them evolve, and where are they going?
I see the rate at which they're becoming more advanced accelerating, as shown by their appearance in more and more industries, such as insurance and gaming. And I also see them becoming more and more useful in each of those industries in which they're appearing. Basically, what I'm seeing is that as more and more data makes its way on chain, it allows more and more advanced smart contracts to come to life. And as those smart contracts become accessible to existing systems, they start to interact with the systems that people are used to in daily life. I also see them interacting with more advanced, innovative systems like AI and helping interact with that system in a reliable, trustworthy way. So basically, the rate of innovation is expanding across sectors, but also the usefulness of smart contracts in each vertical is also increasing.
Chainlink was critical for getting DeFi off the ground. How are you seeing DeFi evolve, and what are the key parts of DeFi that we need to keep an eye on?
So because we feed the majority of data into DeFi, we have insight around what applications are actually building, using data, and launching more advanced features and markets. The two categories where I'm seeing the most activity right now are in derivatives and real-world assets. In the derivatives market, which, as you know, is a multi-$100 trillion global market, I'm seeing more and more advanced markets, I'm seeing more and more advanced use cases, and I'm seeing more and more creative use of data. Part of the appearance of derivatives is based on smart contracts and blockchains becoming fast enough to enable derivatives to come into existence. And part of it is on the basis of various critical pieces of data making their way into those blockchains and smart contracts. Beyond that, real-world assets, I think, are starting to have a very exciting moment. And I think NFTs have consciously prepared people to understand what real-world assets are and also to get behind them. Real-world assets are basically tokenization of more advanced things, such as real estate, or other existing real world things, but they also require data to prove the state of those real world things. And right now we're providing a lot of that data, and we're seeing a lot of interest in taking all kinds of assets that weren't previously on chain, because there's data and systems that can make them go on chain.
And Chainlink has pioneered many of the interactions that large banks have with blockchains. How are you seeing large banks continue to adopt smart contracts?
So in my experience, banks follow their clients, and their clients continue to come to them for two or three key categories of help. The first category is still custody. And so banks are still on an ongoing basis becoming the servicing partner of their clients for actually holding cryptocurrency for them. That then leads those clients to ask, what can I do with my cryptocurrency once I have it, which naturally leads to DeFi. And then from DeFi, I think we go into all kinds of exotic variations of DeFi, whether that's derivatives or real-world assets or other types of categories of DeFi. But what I'm really seeing with banks is that they're starting to create subsidiaries and separate entities that are going to service these clients at a certain scale. And working with these banks is becoming easier because they're now actually looking to make a real technology choice and investment in efficiently interacting with multiple chains, efficiently interacting with multiple users, because they now finally have multiple users and clients coming to them. And they see that those clients aren't just going to stop at custody, they're going to go beyond custody to these more advanced smart contracts that they're going to want to interact with.
Right, and of course, let's talk about the recent launch of Chainlink Functions. What does it do, and why is it important for the future growth of Web3 and smart contracts?
One of the exciting things for me about being in an industry where everything isn't built and all the problems aren't solved and every use case isn't discovered yet is that it's kind of unpredictable. What's the next big hit? What's the next thing that's gonna become what NFTs were, or what DeFi was, or what's the next big thing that our industry starts to define or redefine for people in their minds? And we can't really predict that because there's so many ways it can go. What we can do, and what we've done with Chainlink Functions, is give developers and the people building all those exciting use cases a much, much wider universe of systems that they can combine into those more advanced use cases. So what we've historically done is we've made very focused data-related products that have provided exceptional security to the tune that they've been able to secure trillions of dollars in value. What Chainlink Functions does is it expands the scope. So it widens the aperture through which various services and systems can make their way to Web3 applications. And every time you add a new service, like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud or access to Meta, you basically create a new configuration, a new permutation of how you can combine that with all the other things that you made available. And this is how historically the web has grown to make very advanced use cases like Uber and Netflix and others. It's through its combination of all these other building blocks. And so what Chainlink Functions does is really widens the array of access, because you can really access any Web2 API, any Web2 infrastructure in a secure, reliable way to make your Web3 application interact with social networks, existing infrastructure, AI systems, and any number of other systems. And I'm personally very excited to see how people can configure all of these wide array of infrastructures and tools into the Ubers and the Netflixes of the Web3 industry. So that's really what it does. And then once they do that, we'll do our best to make sure that there's infrastructure that increases the security of the infrastructure they need to scale those use cases, kind of how we did with DeFi and NFTs and other things. But really, I think right now it's about building and finding those additional key areas of value by combining building blocks. And Chainlink Functions isn't just one building block, it's thousands and thousands of building blocks that are easy to use, easy to configure, and lead to these more advanced use cases that I think will go on to redefine our industry the same way DeFi redefined our industry and NFTs redefined our industry. I think there's more of that to come, and we're very excited to put out infrastructure that can accelerate that.
All right, Sergey, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.